Yo, fancy community, welcome to Proper Things, the FPL show brought to you by the TT FPL Pro-League, episode 18. Well, you can see that we coming straight from the game today, the 3-3 draw. One of the calls didn't go away in the latter stages of the game. You know that whistle there, we needed that one-on-one with Grealish to seal the victory, but we all know the officiating in the Premier League has been subpar this season, so eventually you're going to get the rub by the referees this season. But despite the little letdown there by the boys today, I have an episode to deliver. We have a short game week, a quick turnaround as games start this Tuesday. So here on Proper Things, the content don't stop, and well, not in the best of moods, but I still have to do the episode. So we're kicking things off hot and sweaty with the review of game week 14. In this game week, there was goals, and more goals. To kick things off, Arsenal defeated Wolves 2-1. Great win there by the Gunners. Brentford defeated Luton 3-1, and Bueno with just an assist. Burnley crushed Sheffield 5-0 in that encounter. Everton narrowly scraped past Forest 1-0. Newcastle defeated United 1-0. Poor showing from the Red Devils in that one. A 2-2 draw between Villa and the Cherries of Bournemouth. 3-2 was the score as Chelsea edged Brighton in a great encounter. Gallagher with a red in that one. Liverpool narrowly got the win versus Fulham in a firecracker. 4-3, the final score in that one. And West Ham and Crystal Palace drew 1-1 before the Rocket Buster, or the main event that was Super Sunday, with a 3-3 draw between my boys Manchester City and Spurs. So that was the review of game week 14. And now with the reviews covered, we move straight into the preview for game week 15, or on this show we call the Goat Mouth segment, where I predict the score lines for the upcoming games this game week. So we kick things off this Tuesday with our Wolves versus Burnley. I think Wolves edge this one 2-1, and Arsenal defeat Luton 3-0. In the Wednesday fixtures, I have Brentford narrowly passing Brighton 2-1. I don't think Brighton get right in this one. Crystal Palace and the Cherries of Bournemouth played a 1-1 draw. I have Fulham defeating Nottingham Forest 2-1. Sheffield United take a beating from Liverpool at home 4-0. So Liverpool 4-0 winners in that one. I have Villa defeating my boys Manchester City 2-1. I think that we are in a bad run and Villa could catch us cold at home. So 2-1 to Villa. I have United also winning 2-1 versus Chelsea in a close encounter. And on the Thursday games, I have Newcastle getting another 3 points as they defeat Everton 3-1, and Tottenham defeating West Ham 3-2. So that was your Goat Mouth predictions for game week 15. And now with the Goat Mouth segment signed, sealed, and delivered, we move into the Proper Things segment. Here I give you the picks that you need in your fantasy team now and going forward. With the Proper Things picks for the aggressive players, we have needle movers. If you need that instant impact in points, spilt milk means that players have overstayed their welcome and need to be moved on ASAP as they have become net negatives. And wound ring picks are simply the players you should keep a keen eye on now in case you want to move on them in the upcoming game weeks. So kicking things off with the Proper Things picks. Again, these are the centerpieces to FPL and should be in your team now and going forward. Last game week, we went 2 out of 3. We had Saliba in defense, Salah in midfield, and Erling Haaland in attack. Saliba, unfortunately, was the miss. He had 1 point. Salah with 5. We also had Bueno, the dynamic duo. He also returned 5, and Haaland with 7. In this game week, we have 2 fresh faces. The first being Kieran Trippier in defense. The Newcastle right back has proven time and time again he is sensational when it comes to fantasy football, delivering a dirty dozen in game week 14. He has an enticing game this Thursday versus Everton. I expect the Englishman to return a haul for all his owners. If you don't own him, I would try my best to get him into the team. I know the 7 million is a bit steep at this juncture in the game, but he's worth every penny. So Kieran Trippier is your proper things defender pick for Game Week 15. In midfield, it's the guy who has become synonymous with FPL for the last 5 seasons. It's Mo Salah, no surprise here, coming in at a whopping now 13.1 million. Mo Salah is not only a must-have asset this game week, I also feel like he's the best captaincy pick this game week, but more on that later, as they play Sheffield United, who are not only the worst defense, but the worst team in the entire Premier League this season. I think Mo Salah is going to feast on the Sheffield or the Blades defense, and I expect big numbers to be put up by Liverpool in this one after narrowly escaping with the 3 points in a 4-3 win versus Fulham. So I expect them to run up the numbers versus Sheffield this midweek. So get Mo Salah in and get the band on it, but more on that later, I promise. Then finally in attack, Erling Haaland has gone down the rankings this week as the number 1 forward is Ollie Watkins. But with that being said, I'm not saying to sell Haaland and bring in Watkins. I mean, you already have Haaland in your team, most of you're keeping them. But if you don't have Ollie Watkins, or you're sold because you thought he was hurt and he might not make it this last game week, you need to have a plan to get him back. Of course, it's Manchester City versus Aston Villa this game week. In the GoatMod predictions, I have Aston Villa narrowly winning this game. I expect Ollie Watkins to be a huge part of that. He's playing brilliantly right now, and my boys, unfortunately, seem to be leaking goals. So you need to get Ollie Watkins in your team ASAP. So he is your proper things forward pick for Game Week 15. Now we're shifting gears from the proper things picks for my aggressive players. Me, myself, I am an aggressive player, so this is one of my favorite segments in the entire show. Again, needle movers are for the aggressive players who are looking to rise their rank immediately and take those punts or those shots against their league mates. So last game week, we went 1 of 3 or 1 for 3 in the needle mover segment. I mean, it's been tough sledding for my aggressive players this week to get those punches in. It's tough going against the template these last 2 game weeks, but we go nonetheless because that's just in our DNA. So last game week, in defense, we had Zinchenko. In midfield, we had Sterling. And in attack, we had Isaac or Darwin. Unfortunately, the only pick to hit there was Zinchenko. It was a small hit of 5 points. He actually gave away the ball that led to the Cunha goal to wipe out the clean sheet. So, tough sledding in the needle mover segment last game week. But this game week, to kick things off with the needle movers defender pick, it's a guy who is probably the best asset in defense, but he's a needle mover simply because of his price. I'm talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold coming in at 7.9 mil right now. I mean, we've seen what Trent is doing recently. Maybe it's the new Predator boots that him and Jude are wearing. We know what Jude is doing all season 2 in La Liga. But Trent was unlucky not to walk away today with a brace, as he's got the assist from a wonderfully taken free kick. It came off Leno's back and into the goal for our own goal. And Trent just seems to be on a different level of late. So if you have the ability to get to Trent Alexander-Arnold, I would, especially with Sheffield this upcoming game week. I mean, he's just proving why time after time he's worth every penny. Again, he's only in the needle movers segment and not in the proper thing segment simply because of the price and the inability for most of the player base to get in. So Trent Alexander-Arnold is your needle mover defender pick for Game Week 15. And next up in midfield, as your needle movers midfielder pick for Game Week 15, I have a guy who I believe gets right this game week. I know his teammates in Saka and Odegaard with the return and the goal in Game Week 14 may have driven this asset down the pecking order for his own team. But Gabriel Martinelli, I believe, comes good versus Luton Town in Game Week 15. I mean, yes, Saka has been returning almost every game week and Odegaard is back and also scored. But Martinelli, to me, needs this game more than the rest of the assets, with Trossard breathing down his neck, King Kai breathing down his neck, and I think he delivers for his owners in a big way this game week. I think we all know what Martinelli did last season, and this season has not been the same player. I believe he comes good versus Luton, and he returns a whole this upcoming game week. And for those who are watching the video, I have a bonus asset to give you all. And this is for the players with rare belly or aggression who looking for the points this week and maybe have a wild card up their sleeves or have something special with the free hit plan, and that's Luis Diaz. If you don't have 3 Liverpool assets already and looking for a short-term pick, Luis Diaz may be a guy, especially for this upcoming game week, as again I believe Liverpool will run up the numbers versus Sheffield, and Luis Diaz is almost a shoe-in to start on the left-hand side. We know Salah is locked in on the right. Most likely it's going to be a struggle between Darwin and Gakpo up top, and Luis Diaz on the left-hand side. I believe Diaz plays and returns heavily as well in this game, but it is a short-term transfer. For those who don't have a wild card and can't get out of the player, they might need to spend a -4 down the line. But for those who have, that wild card up their sleeve, I think Luis Diaz is worth the 1 week or the 2 week punt that he may provide the points needed for that rapid rise up the ranks in your leagues. And finally, in attack, I have another Liverpool player. Again, this is for the players with the belly or the real aggressive players. I think there is a great chance that we see Cody Gakpo get the start this game week. And again, he's coming in at 7.2 million. So if you have a Darwin, or you already sold Watkins last week, or you still have Alvarez, and you're thinking you just need a quick fix for 1 week, and then you wild card in again, Gakpo could be a guy. I mean, again, this is probably a 1 week punt, but I have to put him here simply because of the high upside he provides this 1 game week. So this is more for the players who have the ability to pivot away from one Cody Gakpo after this game. So Cody Gakpo is your needle movers forward pick for game week 15. Now with the needle movers already locked in, we move into the spilt milk segment. And here in the spilt milk segment, this is where I give the players that, well, they have become funky and they need to leave your team immediately as they are becoming net negatives. And last week we had Alisson, Eze and Rasmus. Of course, there was rumors of Alisson picking up an injury. It proved to be true. He didn't play much. Well, he didn't play at all. So hope you all moved away from Alisson. Eze unfortunately picked up an injury and was confirmed he didn't play. And Rasmus Højlund, I warned you all that this pick is not only funky, it's spoiled. It's not spilt, it's spoiled. Came on to replace Martial, nothing much from him or United on the whole, so 1 point there. And this game week, spilt milk defender pick is a guy I own and will be moving on this game week, and Matty Cash coming at 5 mil, currently expecting a price drop before the beginning of game week 15. Matty Cash not only has punished his owners with a slew of poor performances in the last few game weeks, but he seemed to have also lost his starting spot in the Villa lineup. Konsa now comes in there, and it's just tough sledding now for the Matty Cash owner, So Matty Cash, if you have him, if he didn't sell like last week, like most people, and held out hope he could do something this last game week versus Bournemouth, then your trust wasn't rewarded and it's time to move on. So Matty Cash is your spilt milk defender pick for game week 15. In midfield, it's another guy who I owned earlier in the season, but I moved on. He's been in spilt milk and he's been in other categories throughout the season, but I think I have to bring his name up again, and that's Mitoma of Brighton, coming at 6.5 million. Brighton has not been able to get right, or has been playing not so good football of late, and Mitoma also came off the bench this game week, maybe fatigue, maybe setting in. Form seems to be very poor as well, and they are just better assets in that price range, or cheaper. If you have a little more, you could go up in the price range for someone else. So Kira Mitoma, definitely a guy who I will be getting rid of this game week if you still have him. So he's your spilt milk midfielder pick for game week 15. And finally, in attack for the spilt milk segment, we have Action Jackson. And Jackson of Chelsea coming at 6.9 million. I know he did return a little assist for his owners this last game for those who still own him, but there are rumors of a guy playing a part versus United midweek who could directly impact Jackson's minutes going forward. And more on that guy in the next category. But if you still have Jackson in your team, I warn you all that it's the ride is over and you need to pivot away. There are a lot of options. 6.9 million. It could go down to Solanke. It could go up to Darwin or Isak if you have a little more funds in the bank, or if you have 2 transfers, maybe you'll be able to swing a Watkins or even a Gabriel Jesus. All those guys are around the same price as Jackson, and I like them a lot more than him. So if you do have Jackson, it's time to cut and run. So Jackson again is your spilled milk forward pick for Game Week 15. And now that we've delivered the spilled milk segment, we move into the wondering picks. Here is where I give you the players or the assets you should keep a keen eye on this game week to possibly make a move in the upcoming game weeks. Last game week, I said that we needed to see more from Cash, Son, and Martial. Well, Cash, we saw enough there as he moved into spilled milk this week. 1 point, Son with 10. A goal assist, unfortunately, our own goal there in that one, and Martial. So, this game week in defense, I have a guy who seems to have lost his spot on the right side of Arsenal's defense. However, Tomiyasu seemed to pick up a little knock. So we're keeping a keen eye on Benny Blanco or Ben White, coming at a astounding 5.7 million. I know it's a premium price tag, but we know what Arsenal's defense has been all about this season. And Ben White has shown that he has the ability to pick up the attacking return here and there. Arsenal have a great run of fixtures. If Ben White can nail the right back position and make it his own again, he's a definite candidate to bring into your team and to pick up massive FPL points. So keeping a keen eye on the right back battle there in Arsenal's defense. Ben White is your wondering pick, defensive pick for Game Week 15. In midfield, we have a gift that may keep giving over the Christmas period. For those looking for an enabler and you don't have Palmer already, this guy is even cheaper. I'm talking about Giovanni Lo Celso at 4.8 million from Tottenham Hotspurs. A goal in each of the last 2 game weeks for Spurs means that he has come in with some hot form and some big points delivery, and at 4.8 million, he might again just be the gift that keeps giving for the Christmas period. At that price, he allows you to do a lot of things with the extra allotted funds. So Giovanni Lo Celso, we're keeping a keen eye on how he goes Thursday versus West Ham, and with a possible move in mind in order to fund other transfers, as well as him being an asset that seems to be returning massive points in the game itself. And finally, your wondering forward pick is a guy who promised a lot when he was first signed by Chelsea. He finally is set to make his debut bow in the Premier League. I'm talking about Christophe Nkunku, coming in at a bargain of 7.3 million. He's been injured all season, and Pochettino says that he's going to feature versus Manchester United. We are definitely keeping a keen eye on to see how Nkunku goes. Maybe he's on penalties, maybe he's not sharp, maybe he is sharp, but definitely an explosive asset. Don't forget, this is a guy who won 3 Player of the Months over in Bundesliga last season, so he's coming in with a big reputation and he's an explosive asset. So we're keeping our eyes on Christophe Nkunku in Game Week 15, your wondering forward pick this game week. And that brings us to the end of the Proper Things segment for Game Week 15. Hope you all enjoy the picks, and if you all enjoy the picks, I'd love to hear what you all have to say, so go down in the comment section and leave a little comment. And while you're there, you could like and subscribe. Even if you're not happy with the picks, I'd love to hear your opinions. You could give the alternatives. You could go down in the comment section and say, Mike, you get it wrong, and I feel this is a better asset. I'd love to hear from the viewers. So again, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Every little bit helps and I'd greatly appreciate it. And now with all the picks delivered, I know you're all probably wondering who you should give the band to. So here on Captaincy Corner, this is where I give you my 5 favorite captaincy picks for this upcoming game week. Maybe it could help you all with those tough decisions you all have. Well, this game week, the captaincy is as straightforward as it comes for me. My captain is already changed already. It's locked. It's set and forget. I'm talking about Mo Salah, the Egyptian king of Liverpool, the right-sided phenom, will be my captain this game week. I mean, we already know his goal-scoring exploits, looking for his 200 Liverpool goal. I think he gets it midweek against the worst team in the Premier League, the worst defense. I expect Liverpool to run up the numbers, so it's straightforward. Mo Salah is my captaincy choice for this game week. For those who want to go against Mo Salah this game week, number 2, it's not Erling Haaland, but it's Starboy Saka for me. Arsenal do play Luton away from home. Luton have been a better team at home than advertised, but I believe Arsenal will break them down, get the W, and Saka will play a big part in that victory. So Kyle Saka comes in at number 2 on the captaincy corner this game week. At number 3, he has to take a bow at some point. I'm talking about Erling Haaland. Not the best game to captain Erling Haaland in versus Villa. I expect Villa to win this game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I mean, Haaland could pop off on any given team on any given game week, but I don't believe this is the best game week to captain him. So he comes in at number 3 this game week. And Heung-min Son makes his bow after the 2 assists. Well, the assist and the goal, I should say, and then the own goal, which -2, so it comes as 2 assists. Performance versus his favorite opponents in my boys of Manchester City. Does play on Thursday, so you have a little wait to see how your captain does, but Heung-min Son comes in at 4. And at number 5, it's a sneaky Isaac versus Everton. For those who looking for that sneaky or cheeky ball, I know there are a lot of players out there who love the cheeky ball. Kieran Trippier narrowly misses out for me, but I think they will have goals in this one. Isaac is also on the pen, so he rounds out the top 5. So again, I think this is one of the weeks. If you have Mo Salah, you definitely put the armband on the Egyptian king and you don't move it. So Mo Salah again is my favorite captaincy pick for this game week. And finally, now moving into the segment that I know most people look out for. It's one of the segments that has the most banter. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, FPL is still updating the table, so we don't have the exact rankings and how things looking in the race for the 10K at the moment. We expect the update to be live in about 2-3 hours, the exact update. So I'm sure Ezra in editing here will put up a screenshot showing the updated table. So you can look at the screenshot to see who takes the lead or who retains the lead or the movements in the race for the 10K. So look out for your name here on the screenshot, and congrats to you on your big performances this game. You'll also have an update on the first week of the December match of the month on the next episode to see who takes the lead in the heated December match of the month race. So you look out for that. And now we move into the segment I call My Plan Transfer. For those who wondering what your boy going to do with his team this game week, or what we looking to probably set up for the upcoming game weeks. I know last game week I said most likely I will be rolling the transfer, or I will make a move from Cash to Zinchenko. In hindsight, I did roll the transfer, but it was probably better to replace Cash with Zinni, as Cash returned 1, lost some money on him, and then Zinchenko rose in price, so I'm -2 in team value, plus a down 4 points as well. So maybe it was best to make the move. This week, however, we are definitely moving on from Matty Cash, and there are 2 players I'm eyeing up to replace him as plan A. Either A, again Zinchenko. Again, I love the player, I love his schedule going forward, and he's a magnet for bonus points. Arsenal's defense, we know how spectacular they have been. Well, not last game week, but we know how great they've been. And the option 2 is a more explosive asset in Pedro Porro of Spurs. I know they have West Ham this upcoming game week on Thursday, but Pedro Porro is a guy who I've seen get into opponent's box and firing off the shot. He's also on the odd set pieces as well. Could be an explosive asset going forward, as Spurs is very attacking. The clean sheets, however, might be at a premium because Spurs seems to get opened up a lot. But Vicario has been playing spectacular as well. So the plan A is to move to either Zinchenko or Poro. I haven't decided as yet, as at the time of filming, it's now Sunday afternoon. I'm coming off a tough 3-3 draw. Plan B, however, could be to downgrade cash to Lascelles and pocket the money with a view of downgrading Onana in the following week and have over $2.2 million in funds, being able now to move to another premium asset in Game Week 16. That's also in my thinking, as the games come quick and fast, and it's always nice to have that extra transfer up your pocket in order to make moves. So again, plan A, moving cash on to either Zinchenko or Poro. Plan B is to just take the downgrade to Lascelles and pocket the extra money with a view of making 2 transfers, with Onana being downgraded and a premium asset coming in Game Week 16. So look forward to update you on which move I actually make. And that's been my planned transfer for this game week. And now that brings us to the end of the episode. Episode was a great one, although we came off a 3-3 draw. Again, don't forget to go down and like the video. Once you're there, you could subscribe and leave a comment whether it be good or maybe it might be something you don't agree with in the show. You want to make an alternative pick. I would really appreciate the feedback and the support. I hope you all stay safe for the Christmas period, and I'll see you all later this week for Game Week 16, as another set of games will be this weekend. And don't forget to do proper things in all walks of life. I'll see you all later this week.